Good morning and welcome to today's uplifting conversation. Today I am talking with the beautiful Bridget Avgoustakis. Did I get that right?
You did. You did get right.
Excellent. I've locked it in, the Avg. So just so delighted to be back with you on take two, actually. So take two. Yesterday we attempted this in zest and with all our attention, and the internet was just not playing cricket. So today it's just a completely different story. So today we will be talking all things about the astrology energy that is going to be happening during May. It's always great to hear from Bridget what to expect and to get our armor on, or just to be able to do whatever we need to do to ride the waves of life.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome, Bridget. Really good to
Thank
have you
you.
on again. And thank you for reading.
That's it. That's good. Mercury retrograde. I don't know about everybody out there. How's Mercury retrograde treating you? Some people are like cruising through, and other people are like, what on earth is going on? So he's about halfway through. He finishes his retrograde on the 15th of this month. So a little bit more to go, guys.
Okay. All right. So, yes, I was telling my daughter about one of my daughters about the Mercury retrograde, and she said, "Oh, is that what's going on? There's all these glitches happening. Somebody's laptop had totally wiped and had to be reset." And I had an interesting day, and actually I'm still having interesting times because I have a big clock in the kitchen that I must look at every time I go in the kitchen. And the other day the battery went flat. Well, I think it might be more than the battery because I've put several batteries in trying to get it going. And I was cross-referencing that time with my watch. And nothing seemed to be adding up. And it wasn't till that night that I looked at my watch and it was still 2:00 in the afternoon. So not only did my kitchen clock play up, but my watch played up as well. So anyway.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Actually, well, I can actually blame this distortion of time not only on Mercury retrograde, but we've got Venus square Neptune. That's also distorting time as well. So that one's finished actually today. That is final. So, it should get a little bit easier. Well, relative. Well, Mercury's still retrograde. So.
Well, the energy can hang around pre and post it, can't it? Is that what happens?
Yeah, it absolutely does. Absolutely does. But once that aspect has peaked, it dissipates off. So that's Anyway. All right.
So what is happening for us? So what happens for those people who are new to our show? What happens is Bridget will go through the energy for the month ahead, and of course I bring in my lovely essential oil passion and knowledge that will help you to decide which oils you need to be using to help you ride these waves of life. And for an example, I was running late this morning because of all these silly glitches, and we both sat on here and we both grabbed our Valor, didn't we? And just to get us energetically into the moment of talking to you people who are hopefully going to get some gold nuggets from this.
And I also love clarity. And as an undiagnosed ADD or ADHD, anyway, you know what? Perimenopause in women brings on this forgetfulness and, this brain fog. So whether, it is like in my case, I can relate to an ADD diagnosis for most of my life. But, now that I'm running a business and I, consult with people and I have to do paperwork, I often use the clarity just to bring me back and just remind me that I have a purpose and I need to be on task. So I love that one as well.
Yeah, fantastic. I like to hear that it's been helping. And someone's just asked me, who have I been headbutting? Well, I haven't been headbutting. I've got something here where I've put a little bit of something to deal with what that something is under there. So, so I've just got to keep it covered. So at the moment, so I'm good.
All right. Well, do you want to jump into May, or do we want to have a quick? Yeah, let's jump into May and we'll talk about
no,
the other.
okay. Well, towards the
Yeah,
end.
no,
So
go.
yeah, well, hang in, because if you are just joining us now, what we will like to do is make sure we are passing on our offerings to you. So for me, it's a free clarity call. If you want to know more about which essential oils are going to work for you, or a full-on reading with me, I work with energy and color and essential oils, of course. And Bridget, maybe you could just do a quick run and we will go through.
Okay, so I do astrology readings. So that is using your natal chart to both, when you have a natal chart reading, it's really looking at your blueprint and looking at all the amazing superpowers that you have. Just, in your chart, you can acknowledge and accept so many things about yourself that, society tries to push certain things away. And, especially like with your personal planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, if you can see what their superpowers are and you can relate to them in your life, then, gives you a sense of acceptance. I know I've said that word a couple of times, but it really does. Like when you look at your chart, and then when you look at your transits, and you're not clueless to what lessons the universe is trying to teach you, and you can see what things are coming. So astrology is a great tool for your own personal development. So I'm also a wellness coach. So, and like Kay is also a coach, it's about getting the best out of yourself in your everyday life and being able to plan and achieve goals easily working with energy.
And on that note, would you be where you are without having had a coach?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So in my point always is, we all need coaches. We all need mentors to help us to break free of the barriers that we have within our own minds, so that we can expand, grow, and do what our soul is urging us to do on this planet.
Yeah, I've had quite a few mentors and coaches. One mentor I've had for 10 years now. And, coaches and mentors can also snap you out of your own headspace. Sometimes the biggest block you have is your own fear. So we, helping people help you to deconstruct those blocks and, anyway.
Absolutely.
So you know what? That's a perfect segue into my first day, which is Saturday. So Saturday, May the 6th at 3:36 a.m. We have this, like right now we are in the middle of the eclipse cycle, not the middle, but Saturday's the second eclipse that we have. So we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So here we are. As a Scorpio, I personally love it. But, it can bring up some quite traumatic past events. Now, this is an ending cycle. Eclipses take things away from you, but they always give you something better in return. Now, with the sun in Taurus, which is all about stability, and the moon in Scorpio, which is very volatile, we have this acceptance that, we need to let go of all of the things that have been holding us back. We do a deep dive into some more uncomfortable topics, and they're in your face because they need to be dealt with and released. All right. Life has got way more to give you if you allow the space for new things to come in. Now, it is a South Node eclipse. The South Node is the place where we release. The North Node is where we consume. It's what we work towards, so we get full of all the good stuff. And then sometimes we get too full and we just sit still and we stew in our own stuff. So, whatever you're going through right now, release it, acknowledge it, accept it as a part of your past, and don't allow it to continue to, hold you back from this new amazing future that you have. What have we got here?
Exactly. I've got release. So just in this moment, maybe those of you who are joining us live or be listening to the replay, have a little think right at the moment of something in your life that is something you need to release. It might be grief, it might be attachment to something, it might be a need to have to think that there's something you need to have to be happy, or it might be just something bubbling within you. So I'm going to put on a drop of release on my palm of my hand, and if any of you who are here watching have got some release, go and grab it and activate it 3 times, and let's just spend a little bit of a moment in a bit of reflection and come up with an affirmation. I release the need to, I release my lack of, I release grief, frustration, anger, and then also bring something in. I release whatever it is and I accept my ability to move forward with ease. That would be a nice one. And I was looking for I do. I have my acceptance oil, a beautiful
Amazing.
oil to help you just to accept whatever it is that you need to accept at the moment. I accept where I'm at. How about this? And open up to new possibilities. And, even this sort of gesture of putting your arms out there and just opening your heart and just allowing some of those beautiful things to come in that Bridget is talking about.
I have another little note which is perfect to what you just said, and it says, now is the time to weigh up what you really want because new insights are abounding, allowing you to see what is reality and what is really happening for you. And it is a time to trust the process. The harder you fight, the more it hurts. So just, again, with that acceptance and acknowledgement and just allowing the universe to do its job, it always has your best interests at heart. So might hurt, but I think it knows better. so
well, it's through those times where we don't feel comfortable or happy, or when tragedy occurs, that we it's that wake up call to have a really good look at what's going on in our life and what we can do to make things better for ourselves. So instead of dwelling in the past, I could be dwelling in things that have happened to me years ago, but I just know that it's no good. I like to release it all. And generally, you don't have any release. So I was just going to have a look while Bridget's talking. I'll see if there's even just some valor, any oil that you've got, frankincense, anything. And a good morning to Shazza. Thanks for joining us.
Morning. All right, so the next one we have, all right, you know what, this is a good one because on the 8th, all right, so this is all Australian Eastern. On the 8th, Venus is going to move into Cancer, ladies. Yay.
Ooh.
So Venus is going to be moving into a place. So at the moment, we have Mars in Cancer. Right now, Mars isn't very happy in Cancer because it's all just too feely. But, and Mars is also ruling both of the eclipses. So he ruled the Aries eclipse that we had, the new moon one. And then he's also ruling the Scorpio one. So Mars is really fighting for the things that he loves. Now, Venus at the moment in Gemini is very flitty and unsettled and just like, blah, 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 blah. But when she moves into Cancer, she's going to be like embracing, all right? Just think of that, holding a child close to your breasts. The Cancer rules the breasts, and great time to remind everybody to do breast care self-checks, all right? And whenever the moon's in Cancer, or now when Venus is in Cancer, I just would like to remind women to do those, simple, quick self-care checks. Just, keep an eye on your boobs, ladies.
Yes,
So,
and you keep an eye on your boobs. That's like, what is it? I'm not meaning you, Bridget. I'm meaning self-check is a good way to roll if you can.
Absolutely. And you know what? Remind other people too.
Yes. And Jean-Marie Brooke says, I have Mars in Cancer.
Oh, lovely. So you are having a Mars return at some point during this cycle. So that is nice. You are willing to fight for the things that you love. So,
She certainly
and with
is.
both Venus and Mars in Cancer, we're going to have the two lovers in the sky in a place where they will really, partnerships might just get that much more connected during this time as well. So, but then we go on to the 15th where Mercury retrograde ends. So that is going to be a really good time, because on the same day, we have so Mercury retrograde ends. So Mercury, our thought processes, is going to be stationary. And if you can imagine it like a roundabout, okay, so he's going to be at 5 degrees. Now he's slowly moving. He's not really going anywhere. So our thoughts are going to be sluggish, and things go wrong the most at a station, because it's just like nothing's happening. And we're going to have a Pisces moon on that day as well. So on Monday the 15th, just heads up that please don't be trying to do like university lectures, or writing really important things that are going to impact the rest of your life. If you have to do any sort of contractual stuff, really check those terms and conditions, because with the moon in Pisces and also the Mercury station, it's just going to be one of those days where you just can't quite get your words out. But after 6 p.m., the moon goes into Aries. So then, it's not going to actually change our thought process, but we might not feel so drowning in our own blech. So that was the 15th. Now, on the 17th, Jupiter, our big benefic, is moving into Taurus. Right, so most of us have been rushing headlong into our self-development, and he's in a fire sign right now, and he's very active, very warrior-like, wants to know it all quickly. But when he moves into Taurus, it's going to bring the energy down. It's going to be way more grounded. And rather than rushing headlong into things, we actually have more of an ability to complete things. And Jupiter in Aries is just way too fast and impatient to finish the job. So, we're going to be looking at Jupiter in Taurus, financial abundance. Oh my God, our finances will grow. Our self-worth will pick up. Now, Taurus also rules food. So, I'm not saying sort of watch your waistlines, watch your dietary habits, because Taurus is ruled by Venus and she loves sugar.
Oh,
so yes. So when just a little tidbit, just if your chocolate cravings increase while Jupiter is in Taurus, then think it's about self-care, isn't it? So knowing what your boundaries.
Grab an oil instead.
Yeah. Have you got something that, look, I know almonds can satisfy sugar cravings. Have you got some sort of oil that can sort of combat cravings?
Well, I don't know whether it's the sugar necessarily, but peppermint oil is great for cravings, and you can just put a drop in your water, have a drink, or make a herb tea, put a bit of honey in it, but make sure you stir it around, because it's a hot oil, so you don't want that sort of concentrated peppermint on your lips. So you stir it around so it mixes throughout the water. But we also have something called sleek essence, and that is a great oil to help suppress those cravings, and so that could well work with the chocolate cravings as well. Yes.
Sorry, go.
Now, just Jan-Marie's asked, I have a house construction contract coming up, so what are the dates to avoid?
Well, definitely that 15th.
The 15th.
All right, so he's going to start moving. Yeah.
Read it very carefully.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd be waiting to about the 19th or even the 22nd would be really good, Jan-Marie, because then we have the sun in Gemini. All right, when the sun in Gemini, that would be better for communication. Mercury will be moving, the moon will be in Gemini as well. So, around the 22nd would be a good one for doing that contracts. So, yeah.
Okay, do you know where you were? You were at the 17th, Jupiter into Taurus, more grounded, financial abundance, and sugar. Sugar craving.
So the next one that we have, oh my God, like even the energy for today is so buoyant and blah, 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 blah. So yeah. I'll come back. I'll ground now. All right. So the next big day that we have is the 20th. So we're going to have a new moon in Taurus, ruled by Venus, who is in Cancer. So we have, the sun and the moon in Venus's sign, and it's all about self-worth. And Venus in Cancer is like, oh my God, let's give ourselves a little bit of love. What a beautiful day for some pampering. Go get a mani-pedi or a facial. Taurus and Venus in Cancer are so much about facials and just beauty treatments. So there's a little bit more to say, but I can see that you've got an oil for that.
Yeah, I do. Well, I'm thinking anything with rose, when it comes to self-love, anything with rose. Rose is one of our oils that has the highest frequency at 320 hertz, I believe, if I've got that totally correct. So it's a really high vibrating oil, and it's all about, for me, it's about self-love. And when you smell a rose, and those in the days, or if you can find a rose that actually smells these days, you get that beautiful, and you just want to melt into the rose. So it's that thing of, beautiful feelings towards yourself. So I would be flowering myself with joy on the 20th, and I'm going to be in Queensland at a Young Living conference, which is pretty exciting, on the 20th. So they picked a new moon, which is a great time for all of us to get together with Young Living. So some joy, and also frankincense for your skin. You talked about skin and pampering. We have so many beautiful skin products. And at the moment, for Mother's Day, there is a sandalwood cream that is available that has not been available for a while, and they've brought it back as one of our Mother's Day presents. So, and in there, just going back to Mother's Day, because Mother's Day will be on the 14th, I believe. Is there any news there? I think it's the 14th of May.
Yeah,
because
I've been listening for that.
So what's happening for the mothers in the world there? Is there anything going on?
The 14th, you said?
Yeah, you talked about the 8th going into Cancer. The 15th, Mercury retrograde ends. Anyway, you mightn't have anything particular for that date, but I just thought,
you know what, it's going to be a Pisces moon, so very much have a lovely chill day, go for a walk, enjoy, it's Pisces moon, Mum might like a glass of wine, maybe a champagne breakfast, that's a little bit Pisces moon there. Bit of escape reality, have some fun, maybe a bit of fantasy movies, stuff like that.
Perfect.
So yeah. Okay, so for the 20th, all right, so the new moon is actually at 1:55 a.m. So we wake up with this new moon energy, and so now is the time when all of the plans that you have been making and you are trying to establish feel like they're starting to take hold. You've got some stability, all right? Now your confidence is high, and with all of the releasing that we've been doing with the eclipse, and, we've got planets changing signs from a place that is, very thinky into a place where it's all feeling, your confidence is high. Allowing the things of the past to stay there. Like I said earlier, you are allowing future endeavors to have a place in your life. All right. So, this new moon, we've got the moon in Taurus up until the moon will go into Gemini at 4:50 a.m. So there's a period of like 3 hours. Most of us are going to be asleep, but maybe, you might be having comforting dreams, or, anyway, you're going to wake up and you just be like confident and being able to articulate what it is that you want to achieve. Believe, seize the day, and just, even if you have to fake it till you make it. And I don't really mean that in a negative way. I just mean that sometimes we need to just trick our own thoughts into letting stuff go.
Oh, absolutely. I believe in, when we use affirmations or intentions, they need to be in the here and now. So I am manifesting whatever it is that you want, or I am this. And we've got to do that to get our subconscious into the frame of thinking the thoughts that we want to direct our path into. Otherwise, we may be just using old thoughts that we've had all our lives that have not necessarily been serving us. And that is
And
that's
you know
what we do through the releasing. And believe that's the oil that you would be using, with your
Yes.
affirmations.
Oh, beautiful.
Magnifying your belief in yourself is so important.
Yeah, and the good old analog systems, don't be like, some people, oh, it's in my head. No, get it out on paper. You need to use a paper and pen. I think I've said this before with you. The universe loves action. And
Yeah.
even if it is just getting it out of your head onto paper, and then also then your reticular activating system, then it has something to work with because it can see that you want something. You can see that you are doing something towards the end goal. So go for the good old analog diary, journaling, whatever. Yes. So, and in particular, these couple of days, 2021, these are massive days. Okay. So now on the 21st, which is a Sunday, that is going to be like a hyperactive day. We have got the moon in Gemini. And then the sun moves into Gemini at 5:10 p.m. on the Sunday. But at 1:30 in the morning, Mars moves from Cancer, where it isn't that happy, to Leo, where it is going to give off the biggest growl it can. It's just like, African lions in the savannah noise type thing. So, talk about getting your confidence up. These couple of days are the days where you really start to believe in the things that you are working towards. So
great. Now we have a question. Jean says, is it better to write or speak your intentions? And my answer to that would be yes, but both. Write them and speak them. Both. But writing them down is actually, it's very grounding. And also then you can find sticky notes and put them, open the pantry door and there's, good morning, I love you, Jean, or open your bathroom cupboard and I love and approve of myself. Just those gentle reminders. And if you even say it when you see those things, you are then you're in your throat chakra and you've got your mind activated and you've got your your hands, so you're embodying the whole experience. And the other thing that is important is to make sure you are emotionally involved in what you're saying and what you're writing, because if I know for you, Jean, you're going through some changes, you need to be, if I were you, I would be writing a list of all the things you want in where you're moving to and get that list down, get it on the paper. And I have this little thing that I always say, dear God, this is what I want. You sort it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
And it's letting go. And it's handing
over.
Yeah.
That's it.
I remember years
ago,
my favourite one of those was I was in a situation where I had 4 kids and myself, and I needed to get out of the scenario that I was in. And I wanted to go on a holiday to let the dust settle. And I remember doing this prayer, and I was in quite a state actually. And I just said, dear God, I want to go on a trip. I want to go to Perth. It was either, the choice for me was either WA or Queensland. And I said, but I really wanted to go to Perth because that's where my stepson was living, and I wanted to take my daughter to see her brother and for me to see my son. So I just said, I want to go to Perth. I don't know how I'm going to get there. You can sort it. Well, that was on the Sunday night, I think, or no, maybe on the Friday, and I hopped on the boat to Melbourne, and I was talking to a friend on the Monday morning, and I said, I was telling him that what I was doing. I said, oh, I'd love to go to Perth, but it's a bit far for me and the kids by myself. He said, really? We're going on Friday. Why don't you come with us? And it was just absolutely amazing. So it's given me this nudge to, we've got to hand things over. We can't always orchestrate everything we want in life, and we've got to find some faith in something more than just our physical being and who we are in our own, I don't know, compact sort of whoever we are, if that makes sense.
does. Sorry about that. Live action dog
Okay.
skills.
That's okay.
Okay. So there was something else about the 21st that that is still building now, and that is the Mars opposition Pluto. So as I was saying about this 21st, I know I'm still stuck on the 21st, but you
That's
know,
okay.
the amount of energy and activity now, this is quite volatile. You know, so in the goodness that we have with, you know, the moon in Gemini and Mars moving into Leo, there's just a heads up about the Mars opposition Pluto is very much a forcing of a situation, right? So it's not so much about compromise and compromise and cooperation can help the situation and addressing things that you know are potentially volatile. So, so yeah, this is more of a public service announcement for that day. Again, there's just so much energy. We just don't want something to get stuck and blow its top, or you know. So Mars might have an excess of testosterone on that day as well. So it's going from a feminine sign to a masculine sign. So just, yeah, there's that one as well. So Mars has been quite in detriment for, oh my God, since August last year. So you know, he's finally getting into a place. Sorry, yeah, go.
No, you're right. If you had, it just occurred to me, if you were, you know, if you were somebody who is dominated, shall I say, by your feminine power, so you know, the one that's always receptive, and you know, you sort of have that softer approach. If you needed some masculine energy, this would be a great time. Would that be correct? Am I right in saying that?
Yes.
So if you needed to be more assertive about something, you know,
Absolutely.
often as women, and I know, I'm thinking of someone in particular at the moment that's often has been in a situation where the male was the dominant in the scenario, and they're going through a situation, and I can just see that this person needs more strength and more courage, because that's really what we all need to do to get where we want to go. We've got to have that courage to take action and to do what we need to do. So that could be a good time for that.
That's it. That's so. I mean, but even for our partners, you know, like I've heard of a couple people that have, you know, men have been feeling weak and you know, more emotional than usual, and like with lower testosterone levels even. So, you know, men and our partners might get that boost that they're also looking for. And, you know, the whole Venus, Mars in Cancer, you know, having that compassion towards each other, you might just see that turning point for them as well after that.
Yes.
So, yeah. So now the next day that I have earmarked is the 25th of May. All right, so we're going to have the moon moving into Leo. So we're also going to have Mars in Leo and then the moon going into Leo. So there is a lot of fun to be had on that day, but there's also a heightened sense of irritation. And I've written like it's one of those sort of days, like, you know, you're like, yeah. So it's like, you know, it's one of those days. It's like, you know, there's a few challenges in your path. So watch your steps. So this is Thursday, the 25th. So we're going to have moon conjunct Mars. And also like the moon going into Leo. So there's just this whole lot of, so the moon will be square Mercury. So our words can be harsh. It's going to be square Jupiter. People might misconstrue what we're trying to say. It's going to be opposing Pluto. So again, with the volatility, you know, and square the nodes. So, you know, the blocks can be potentially just giving us the ability to use those as stepping stones, but we've got to come to grips with the energy. It's one of those days, like the Mars is square, like all, blah, 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 there's all of this. So we could be really excited, but also very blocked. So 25th, heads up. Yeah, just take a breath. Take lots of breaths.
So purification or even myrtle oil, they're both good oils for throat chakras and helping you to say what you need to say with clarity and, uh, coming from the right place is really important. Natalie, thanks for joining us. We are not doing cards today. This is my uplifting conversation. So, but you'll have to watch my show tonight in a few hours. I don't know what time it'll be for you, but it'll be 7:15 for me that I will be on a show where I will be more inclined to be doing some readings. But stay on and enjoy this conversation because you might find it useful. So we're up to the 25th. What have we got after that?
Yeah, so then we're going to go. The next one I've got is the moon going into Virgo. So it's about dealing with the inevitable. All right. So blah blah blah. The moon going into Virgo is a great time for us to have a little bit of a analyzing our own situations, whether, it might be a good time for you to do your budget, any household improvements, meal plans, a great time to review your diet, your self-care, health-care, just to, and another, doing a self-care check, I'm sure you agree with this, Kay, is, listening to your body and all of the things that you are experiencing. So often we just ignore the fact that, sometimes, our tummies might be upset for a few days at a time, or it's getting a repetitive pattern that we just don't acknowledge because we don't have time for that. So, when the moon's in Virgo, it's a really good time to be like, all right, yeah, it is getting a little bit more consistent. I need to watch my diet, my bowels, my mental clarity. If you are finding yourself in a world of fog, how's your gut health? So just the, 27th, 28th, just like I said about with Venus going into Cancer and doing the doing a breast care check. Same time when the moon goes into Virgo, just pay attention to your diet and how your gut is reacting. So, and again, good time to do a budget as well.
So I could talk to some gut oils, and orange oil. Orange oil is a great gut oil, good for the happy biome in your body, and you can put that in.
as well.
Oh,
I
yes.
use this one all the time. I am gluten intolerant, and so sometimes gluten sneaks into my diet.
Yes.
And we did that Bellingham one together, didn't we? And
Yes.
I got this from you there, and it helps so often. So I am a total believer in this Digees as well.
Absolutely. So if you've got some Digees, you can just rub that on your tummy. Some people just smell it. Sometimes I like to taste it and put a drop on my tongue. So there's a few different ways, or even diffusing it is a really good way to use it. So any tummy issues, Digees is your total friend, definitely.
Yeah, so that's I've pretty much got to the end of the month.
And now Life 9 for probiotics. We have capsules, Life 9, and I just take one every night, and it has lots and lots of different cultures in it. It's a really, really powerful probiotic. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just saying I've pretty much got to the end of the month, all of the ones that I think are, relevant for people to sort of pay attention to. Yeah, the big ones, So definitely this Saturday, and then when Mercury goes direct on the 15th, and the new moon on the 20th, and also the 21st as a very highly active day.
So, okay. Well, I'll be in Queensland at the Young Living Conference with hundreds of people who love oils. So I'll be in amongst a beautiful, supportive environment, which is wonderful. And then I'm going to head further north to Queensland. So, and all this Leo stuff. Well, I'm a Leo, so that'll be very interesting to see how life pans out for me up in the northern parts of Australia, which is I'm looking forward to. So Well, now tell us again, because a little bit more, flesh out what your offerings are for people who would like to follow up, because I know how important it is to have your astrology charts done. So far away, let us know what you have.
So I do. I am in northeast Tasmania, so I'm up near Derby. So I do in-person readings, but mostly I do them on Zoom, so you can be anywhere. Now, if you do one of my hour readings, that is your natal chart dissected as such, your transits, and also your progress chart, which is a chart that as you mature, your chart also changes. So, a sign is 30 degrees, which equals 30 years. So the older you get, your sun actually changes sign. Your moon changes every 2.5 years. So, having a progress chart is a beautiful way to just acknowledge how much you have changed in life. So I have that 1 hour offering, and then I also have just a half-hour chart, which is just basically a breakdown of what's going on for you right now. And, we look at some of the deeper meanings of the transits. And, I'm a lover of Louise Hay and internal family systems. So it's a way of just identifying patterns in your life and seeing whether you are replaying patterns unconsciously. So, I'm just obsessed with astrology, and I could just talk for hours about it. But yeah, I'm available. So, like I said, I do Zoom. So,
yes.
And then every morning, Monday to Friday, I have a live where in Lifetime to Level Up on Facebook.
Oh, is it Lifetime?
Where
I've just
Lifetime. Lifetime to Level Up. And then I do it. I just analyze the day, give you some helpful pointers and tips on how to deal with things, and I get so much great feedback about people who don't go into situations unaware, so they can either stand back or engage further. It's just a nice way to be like, oh, it's not me, it's Mercury, or
blame something else. No, it's an explanation, really, isn't it, of what's happening? I know last weekend some things happened in in my family. There were some tensions and things going on, and I'm going, oh, look, it's in the stars. There was everyone had a bad hair day. And I'm saying, oh, it's in the stars, and the son-in-law's going, yeah, I knew there was something weird about the energy. So then you can kind of go, oh, okay, you can have a bit more compassion for those around you and for your own self. It doesn't excuse maybe what comes out of our mouth, but it can help us go, oh, now I get it, and oh yeah, whoops, I went too far, or whatever's gone on. So it's always good do that.
And in coming up in maybe June, I'll be doing a workshop maybe in Launceston about the upcoming Venus retrograde as well. So earlier I spoke about Venus moving into Cancer, and so Venus is going to retrograde this year in Leo. So I'll be doing a workshop on identifying Venus in your chart and how the Venus retrograde. So Venus is going to go within. And in Leo, it's all about what dulls your shine, so it's definitely about identifying these energies in your life and just working with them rather than, as women, we are sort of, conditioned to care for others so much more and also make ourselves smaller. So, heads up for, June through to October. It's going to be a very self-reflective time for females and, people with like strong feminine energy. So, that will be coming up later in the year as well.
Ah, wonderful. So that's fantastic. So Lifetime to Level Up is Bridget's Facebook group. And if you are not in there, I recommend you go and find it, and she'll let you in, and she will give you a little daily heads up. And thanks, Heather Warby. Thanks, ladies. What a month. Yes, exciting. And for those who are ready to make the change and to step into your courage, you can go and have a reading with Bridget, and then you can come to me if you want, or the other way around. And I work with you energetically. I work with color. I work with what you want to do. What you want to remove out of your life, what it is that you need to make the changes so that you can step into your courage with purpose and with passion and do what your soul is urging you to do here on the earth. And we know that if we ignore those nudges about what we want to do and what interests us, if we keep ignoring, we're going to get irritable, we're going to become unhappy, sickness can happen. People around us can see that we're not resonating and we're not bubbling and shiny. So, my encouragement is that you come and have a session with me. I'll talk about essential oils. You'll leave that session with a beautiful colored energy drawing of that will work with you, and it helps you to anchor in the changes of where you want to take your life. And I always give you some essential oil recommendations as well. Or if you just want to grab some oils and you don't want to do a full reading, I do have a complimentary session on offer, so you can send me a message and we will organise a time for you to book in and spend some time with me. So my website is just simply kayhamilton.com. And Bridget, yours is?
bridgetsastrology.com.au.
There you go, bridgetsastrology.com.au. So there is 2 places you can go to, and make sure that you are the person in charge of your life and not everybody else around you, or not even the stars and the planets. If you know what's happening, well, you can then take control of what's happening with the stars and planets once you have become informed and once you are prepared to stand in your own truth, power, and purpose with passion. How does that sound?
Amazing. Sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Kay.
Oh, thank you, Bridget. It's always a pleasure to chat with you, and I look forward to our next one in a month's time. And to all you lovely listeners, thank you very much. Come and find me on Kay's Essential Oil Wisdom as well. That's my Facebook group on Facebook. So if you're interested in that, you can come and ask to come in, and I'll approve you and friend request you, and you can become part of our oil community. So from my heart to your heart, and Bridget, you go and have a beautiful day, and everybody else, people it's day, some people it's in the evening. So thank you so much for joining. So go forth, stand in your courage, make those changes that you need, and make sure that life is good for you because you are orchestrating it. So thank you very much, everybody. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye.